Are you adverse to the inverse of my gifting you with something which is slightly better than listening to the radio? Perhaps you've played it though. Perhaps everyone tells you saying so is not enough to make it true. I have some verses that's adverse to you for you to be lifting me, gifting me with attention. Sometimes it's the tension I mention. My pension will not be able to keep me in the manner to which I have become accustomed to be. So to thrust them at me, I don't need money, I just need the opinion that you think my rhyme's funny.
Such thirst doesn't always permit.
Okay, I'm just gonna quickly post that I'm doing this and then we'll begin.
So, if you would, sir.
This is a slightly weird song, huh?
The stiff one is my specialty. Oh, you're very charming, sir. Now here's to you. I don't wanna know your name or what you do. I know. Here's to strangers on a train. Strangers on a train.
It could be better, could be slightly averse to the fact that you curse whom I try to map. Certainly I could be better, I could be worse. I could be sometimes sitting in reverse, trying to park round corners, crumbling badly. You tell me that I stumble and sadly we are unable to find some clear compromise. My eyes tell me that I don't see why.
It's lovely. It's lovely.
Can it be adverse to your advice to be against me? Sometimes I think that nightly I'm not saintly. Sometimes the saints see that I could be better, but plainly I sometimes sit on the letter. I am unsure, certainly uncertain. Sometimes I fall and it draws out like curtains. You're gonna draw me down, tell me your conclusions, or will it just be another verbal bruising? You want me to give you some random words? Well, certainly that's absurd because I can have heard all the words before and I can't pick them by choice. Occasionally they just stream out in my voice, but they're certainly not random, arbitrary, perhaps hard to predict, certainly. But it seems my cat will be able to do a better job of randomly selecting because it doesn't know the meaning behind which words it's petting.
It's lovely. It's lovely. It's lovely. It's lovely.
Now I've got a theory if you sit near me. I'll be clear that sometimes there are many different things that we appear to understand. And my hand is not right in the cookie jar, but sometimes I are, and we are looking at the star through a telescope. I'm groping for conclusions. I've got an explanation in my head which I am using to unmerge the confusing set of pictures I see. But will it match up to reality? So I guess at this I've got a hypothesis and I'm attempting to see whether it does not miss the truth of the situation. And so my selection is hopefully going to give me some certain sections where I can test. You've guessed it. Sometimes I messed it up and there is not enough stuff. It seems it's quite rough, and so anything could be true. I need a rigid hypothesis that I can mix and throw out or listen with me while I'm listening. So one of my plans today is to try and not hurt my own voice while doing this. Because often I'm not very relaxed, so that's something we're going to attempt. Just to be a bit more chill. If I had to wrap the news with you you be amused? Would it be like Muesli and you'd be confused? We would be able to know what was happening. Is it slightly too loud? Perhaps it's slapping and you cannot hear me, and nearly we will all see that everything is faulty, like faulty towers faulting ourselves. And making jokes about the Germans, I'm not sure that's helping because they have been learning for a while now, and they're pretty good at stuff. I mean, they are really great at making trucks and like nuclear engineering, good at politics, and it seems to me that our stereotypes stick and leave us stuck in the past. So hopefully we can last without getting stuck and sat on our arse. It will be passing like parsley if only we could cast the net wider in order that we don't have to be asking ourselves if all the truths we believe are true, if we had a good mechanism through which we could view whether they were breaking down or whether they were fine or whether they were kind of hard to easily undermine, because the truth can't be fixed, it can't be true. I suggest this, and it'll be hard for me to prove to you because it's quite hard to view in this kind of situation. If Nathan's happening, it's hard for him to be patient enough to explain concepts or ideas, and I find it hard, so I merely try to undermine bizarre concepts instead. It's easy in my head. Once I get a dinner at this, I guess I'll be dead. So, you might think 3 ideas. Perhaps you prefer ham. Perhaps you prefer that I did this in slam poetry, because then you could ask like Sam, you could say that you prefer this stuff. It easy can be rough. You don't want me to be telling you tough ideas and then constantly hoping that I don't see it, because your brain might be constantly scared of the fact that I am telling you some ideas impairing your ability to think for yourself. Maybe you don't have a wealth. Perhaps you say, Nathan, I don't like this unlawful occupation. You think you prefer to be patient. Is there a way to stop seeing my face? Because I would really prefer that. I certainly would grace pop-out chat. Yes, I like it. Now I can take it down and like it. I can only look at this. I don't need to see myself. And it's easier because I have instead a wealth of things to be looking at, shocking ideas clearly. You think that it can be peerless if we fear the fact of seeing our own faces? Yeah, I'm just fine. But you asked me if when parting I managed to hit the stuff. Well, I'm not sure that enough rough things are a guff thing, but maybe I am bluffing. So you ask me tough sing? I can't sing, I'm okay. Would we want singing now? I'm not sure we would. I mean, for some kind of beats, that stuff can be good, but for this one, I think it would be easy to undermine the fact that you're having a fun time, because chundering rhymes are not going to leave you enjoying my sing-song voice. Occasionally, I can be melodic, but that's my choice, and occasionally... You might prefer this vocal was cleaner, but that's not my arena. Sometimes I go for sophistication, but sometimes this, Mr. Nathan, Delta T can be free to be throwing out beats which can be complex or complexly defeating the point. They can be metaphorical, they can be meta on it, or sometimes they can be quite complex and they can get caught up and snarled round corners, or they can get twisted and you wonder, warn us before it all happens. Because you're upset exactly how much more complex can this one get. You think it's frustrating, the beat's deteriorating. Like Nathan, you struggle to give it a rating of more than 8 out of 10. You prefer. If I started again talking about the differences between bears and pandas, I think I read that they are stranded as a different subspecies, maybe some kind of raccoon. I don't think they're bears, but we'll tell that soon, because you might think it's grounded. It's profoundly obvious that pandas are bear, because we are drowned in the fact that we often refer to them as bears. I can't bear it. I could hardly care if they weren't. I'd be searching for another classification. Is it a category error, or is that a category error in itself? That's kind of hard. Certainly, I find these things bizarre, but what I'm saying is on it, that the dominant understanding is not necessarily true. You put your hand into a pool of concepts and you draw one out. Does that mean it's true, or is it something you can flout? You want me to tell you that cows are really mammals? Well, that depends on their definition. Animals can be the right thing. The question is true if we have an explanation through which we can view, because like mammals, it has something to do with milk. I think like what the kind of baby animals drink. Can they lactate, or do they lack lactation? Maybe there's some kind of differentiation between different species. I know that some secrete, not all have teeth. It seems strange to me that egg-laying things can be mammals too, but I guess it just depends on which way you view. So it might turn out in like 10 years' time that a mammal is a poor way to define the large set of species. It's evolutionary. The way they all descended from a common ancestor is scary to me. Might tear the fairies apart and leave us wondering whether it is just an art. I disagree, but it's exponentially true. So that's what I'm saying to you. It's not about messings. It's not like it's dressings. It's the setup of the salad. And I might be stressing over something you think is important, but I'm telling you I've owned it. You're telling me that I am constantly just phoning it in. I'm not. I'm foaming it through at the mouth. I'm constantly lacking in the ability to douse you with complex concepts. I can be averse to the version, which leaves me feeling slightly uncertain. You think I'm a virgin? Well, I'm not going to discuss. I don't need to be trusting you with these details. Must you ask me? It's hard to be passing a lax truth. You think that it would be better to view it with certain uncertainty. Perhaps we are personally lips and that versing be. You're telling me that certainly might be better. Well, yes, I hope. There's many truths to which I will grow in the darkness, my fingers crawling like those little insects with no eyes. It seems that I am being direct, searching for some kind of food, perhaps sex, maybe some sort of self-actualization next. Well, actually, yeah, I wasn't thinking of things in my head that I wasn't saying. I just thought I'd maybe drink while the music was playing. I might want to stress that I am not undressing the topic, which I am leaving very well, but hopefully you can tell I would do it better without rhyme. But sometimes I attempt to do this most of the time because I get onto the dance floor and I hardly ignore the fact that I can do it single file or we can conga. Maybe I should get on the tiles and show Anya. Enya would also be good as well. I haven't listened to her music very well, but I tell you that I enjoy it in Lord of the Rings.
Big Red, aka Ninja Red, DJ Vadim, Wicked Selector, Paris to London.
I have no idea if this is actually a rap song. I mean, I'm just playing it randomly from YouTube.
I'm so
Yeah.
I'm so.
So that's the difficulty sometimes. I mean, that was quite a good track, wasn't it? But it wasn't instrumental. It wasn't instrumental, which was instrumental in it being skipped. And I dipped, and maybe I will trip in the future because I need to reboot the songs if they start giving me where the words are wrong. You can be impressed, and I am undressing the ideas which I'm constantly erstwhile stressing over. I don't know whether I have the courage to constantly be getting in a flourish because sometimes I get upset and it's hard. You think that I'm hurrying and you think it's bizarre. Well, I'm not too discouraged by your opinion. This erstwhile rapping, it is my dominion. And I will rule and I'll reign until sometimes there's a revolution again. And you might think it's scary, but it's revolutionary to let these people come and tell me they'll tear into the ideas. Because I think unless you can take the ideas in your head and then rebake, destroy them, remove them, take them down, we're always tearing down the crown. The authority needs to be questioned. Its power needs to be lessened in order that we can grow, the flow can increase. Can we manage to breathe underwater and see the wonders of the world? We'll be able to stop dying. I all will die trying. Are we going to go to other places? Maybe we can go to Saturn, or perhaps my face is one day to be stuck on Uranus. Perhaps we are able to tell the explaining needs not stop at this universe. We could go elsewhere. Will it be better or worse? Tell us, only we can know. I don't know. In the future, there is no else we can go. This is a really fun tune. I like it a lot. I guess I might like it, but then it'll forgot in like 3 days' time when I'm sitting in my car and I want music to which I can sing to. I will be stopped by this kind of music. It's without words and it seems rather amusing. I don't know, but I'm really impressed. It's called Dead Ringer by RJG2, and I am stressed that I don't own this music, so YouTube will send me some requests that says the few loops they think that I'm stealing it. I'm not. If they want to monetize my music, I've got no problem with that. Wouldn't mind a cut mine, but hopefully you will see that we are inclined to be listening, to be gifting our consciousness with ideas, and I fear that I may be able to be appearing rather confused. You might be amused and you might be wondering why it is exactly I choose to listen to myself with a wealth of poor conveniences. You might think that I am constantly inconvenienced, but the fact that these words flow around my head as if I were soon dead. And perhaps instead it might be better if I had something else to think about, something to stick in the corners of the grout of the verbal wall I'm building in my head quite precisely. Might be nice if we were able to incite the words in our own head to not be concerned with the 180 things we do are unearned in. I am not conspiracy precipitating ideas, and so rather specifically I might fear that you would say this is in the wrong direction, but I don't have a collection of appearing section. You think I'm dreaming of your screaming, everything is going wrong. Perhaps the song is not enough. You think it's me tough and I think it's fine. Hopefully we'll undermine it fine. My random word generator gives me strange ideas. Might be better if our peers were able to just sit here and hear. I think a here might be better if I was constantly sitting at the letter. Perhaps in future I'll do some kind of thing. Maybe I explain ideas and you think that I might bring the king to be glistening with the codes. You think that those guys might better if I go, because I'm not sure that I know exactly where we are heading. Sometimes the poor steading is telling me shedding. My opinion of myself is the only way to change. Hold your ideas clearly, but also let them rearrange. Be just passionate about the things that matter most. Maybe then go buy yourself some nearby toast. I can be asking why my brain is ruled by a king, or is it perhaps insane? Like a set of people in my head, like that movie Inside Out. I flap the ideas and I can not kowtow to some personal identity, because I don't think that makes very much sense to me. And sensefully, I think that my own virility is lacking, so I don't believe in nihilistic views either. I thought nihility would fit better there, but it was not such to be. Can be far too much for me, so I get stuck, and so it sucks to be. It can be better or worse. You prefer the reverse, well, I'll inverse and be terse. It can be providing. I'm not sure exactly what the topic I'm eliding. I'm gonna get myself some water. I'm principally wrong. I'm principally adverse to your terse collection of ideas. You think that you're reviewing my stuff, or just let the people listen, else it will be rough. I don't know where we're heading. I'm not sure where we're going. I'm uncertain of the direction that we are attempting to provide ourselves with some collection in. If you're watching and you want to give me some words, then do. Sorry, sometimes it takes a while for me to get into a beat. Now this one might be too slow to lack flow in order that I can pack though, because I'm going on a trip at some point in the future. It might be better if there was some way to suture the gaps which sit in the verse that I'm saying. I think this line is too long, so I'm constantly spraying these words out, but don't flout it. Tell me more about it. What is your view of the world, and do you doubt it? There's a puzzling cage on a hill. An idea sits in it, and until that idea is released, then the whole world will stay the same. But nobody really knows if they want it to change. The sun dawns, and some drawn-out process will leave me. Perhaps we'll be receiving the idea and then seizing the future, and you might appreciate exactly the ideas which we might hate. It's really hard, I don't know, uncertain hold to it. Everything is a version of the truth. Well, it's not. Everything is a lie. It's just a creation, not either, in our own minds. So on this side of the hill, how many beats in this bar? I find its feet quite bizarre, unable to... This is really hard. This one might just not work, but sometimes it's good to try things which are hard. Three people walk past. Will they last, or will they be caught in the past, casting themselves onto this hill in order that they might erstwhile instill themselves, well, with a wealth of better ideas? They fear that their fears are soon coming near. Do they unlock from the cage? Do they fight the better? Or do they stuck with their own poor letters? I'm not sure in my frustration that I am able to empathize. I'm not sure in this calculation. I know which way I would aver these guys. Do you step into the unknown, knowing it might be worse, telling me it's for... I think... I don't know where it's heading now, and I don't know why, and I don't know how. It seems that the beat is too long in order that we wrong ourselves. Why am I singing? It's very hard to rap to this beat. I guess you could just skip forward if you're watching this on repeat. Use parody. Let's strike it equal. You prefer this versus? Well, I'll tell you that sometimes it can be merciless. Upsetting to me to think that I am unable to hold the beat. So you think there'll be a sequel? Chances are equal. They're not. They're far better than that, because I'm peeking over the top of the parapet and be deciding that there are many more words I'd like to be eliding. In your direction, a collection of thrusting, constantly telling me that this cluster bombasting over the top of your head leaves you quite sad, with the ideas that tell you it can be mad. It blows in different directions. It's certainly unseemly to talk about these things, but hopefully we will team the ideas to something which is rather more impressive. Else you'll be concerned that I can be quite aggressive. Half the answer is given to my partner, though I don't have one yet, so after that I'll cast her, or maybe him, or maybe just them, on myself in order that I can ask again. Why do you like me? We've always often asking exactly why we think past is not passing us with a poor incorrection of ourselves. I think I don't know why I prefer elves to people. I don't, but it's a nerdish stereotype, so you might well be right. And you think that I gripe about the fact that I don't have many friends? Well, I've got a few, so it seems to me that I quite like what I do. Sing. The reverse to verses, they might be quite impressive. You tell me it's not regressive, but I am just guessing. So what do you want me to tell you about? Well, I guess without doubt, since the first word is quite a mission, we will start talking about the transition deal. I feel like I've talked about Brexit too much, but I don't worry, I'll stack and such. So what's the problem? Is they can't come to a compromise. I've forgotten quite the positions we've held over these past 3 years. I guess it might be part of our ears if we were able to hold onto the table and not be worried about whether this is a fable. Instead, if we could just get a vote, everything afloat, that would be a nice note to end on. You're telling me that everything is penned on, something is sending you. You are unable to pen up yourself. And so we have a different wealth of ideas. My fears will get no conclusion. There'll be another 5 more years we are using ourselves. It's fearless and progressive, but I wish that we could be more possessive. Certainly possessing stuff would be kind of nice. It would not be too rough if we knew where we were heading in like the next 3 years. You're telling me that without tears we could take the grub. There would be no need to snub the EU if you were easily tough. I am now damaging my voice, and that's not something I do by choice. If I only some way that this hole in my face. would easily be replaced by something which could sonorously pour out these beats without feeling kind of grainy when I eat. Because I'm not nearly done. I tell you, the fun of Brexit is that nobody gets to win. It's not about winning. It's about setting us on a good beginning for the rest of our lives. Because it could be a while if we survive. A crocodile tells me that we might arrive on the far bank to find more rivers. So don't forgive us, don't be telling us wrong. Don't tell me that I'm Melanie Strong. Don't tell me Miscellany's wrong. I just want to be able to dwell in this song. And then I might be able to read that there's a future which grows out of this seed, a better one, far better than we can imagine. Rather tragic that this pagination was leaving us without a nation to find. Perhaps you think that I am able to grind down the past to create the future. Well, I disagree, because we cannot suture this into an order which makes any sense. It just depends on what new knowledge we sense. I guess we'll stop there. Thanks, everyone. It's been a joy. I actually should stop the beat. Have fun.